commentary channels. Some would say gods amongst men. Some would say people who can't come up with their own original ideas. Some would say the glorified reaction YouTubers. I would probably say people who mostly make very basic videos saying this person is bad because they did something bad, or that person looks funny. Haha. However, today we will take a look at a video from a very strange commentary channel who uses something called comedy and who had the magic power to reach almost 700,000 subs despite the logic and humor of a 13-year-old. The video is titled "Strange Feminist Paints with Her Own Blood."
Oh, getting a period can sometimes be tricky.
I mean, I'm sorry to say it, love, but sometimes taking a shit can be tricky.
Right, yeah. Because every month you have to uncontrollably shit in a diaper for a week and get routinely mocked for it.
Joking aside, she clearly can't help it. Like, the poor lass has possible future children pouring out of her. Maybe just forget about
So kurwa? What the fuck? Period blood. Possible future children. I'm hoping anybody out there who has more than 2 brain cells left is having the laugh of their lifetime.
Maybe just forget about the tiny bit of blood in the pan of the toilet.
I mean, what a hero, I can barely believe it. Yes, hello, the Uteri Union? Yeah, I found us a new patron of womanhood. Anybody got the Pope's phone number? I gotta have somebody canonized.
But why? It's the human body, damn it!
You've ruined yourself there, love. Why do men only want to fuck? You're not obligated to say yes unless you feel up for it. Men just have no consideration for our feelings. It's the human body. I'm not obligated to treat you better just because you're on your period.
I agree with Chubbs on this one because everybody knows it's the same thing. Everybody knows that when a woman gets her period, her boyfriend also menstruates. He also physically bleeds out of his urethra, gets cramps, gets lightheaded from the pain. That is why you have to remember to always ask consent before that time of the month. It saddens me a little because if you don't have that special somebody around that time of the month, all you're left with is hope that maybe you can find a cute guy at a party and maybe you can use your charm just right to convince him to allow you to menstruate. Words can't even express how sorry I feel for the girls out there who don't even have that privilege, who, have to find a clean, decent guy and they have to pay him for the permission to menstruate. Can I point out that nobody said they wanted to be treated better? That they just wanted to be treated like a human being?
My name is Sarah Levy. I gained notoriety for my portrait of Bloody Trump.
First of all, what gave you the inspiration to decide to oh, you know what? I bleed every month, and that's my pain.
It was mostly being outraged at his statement about Megyn Kelly, that she was just asking tough questions because she'd been bleeding out of her wherever. It's sort of a stab at all women.
Tough fucking questions? You mean statements? Like, if you're gonna collect your new blood and go out of your way to paint Donald Trump with it, at least make sure that you've made the effort to watch a 2-minute video summarizing everything.
Yeah, no, that was a question. And I don't even know how this is relevant to the whole video. In that story, she brought up all the shit Trump talked about women and asked him if he thought that was appropriate for a future president to do. She also asked him how he would respond to the accusations of being part of the war on women. I watched that 2-minute video. I did watch it and I have no idea what you're on about.
A stab at all women. I'd say a joke at the expense of a news reporter takes offense to a joke. I bleed out of my private section. That must mean he's referring to everyone else who bleeds out of their private section.
Oh yeah, Chubbs, because you obviously hear, "Are you on your period?" whenever you're not in the mood to deal with somebody's shit or whenever somebody's being annoying to you. He's shamed having a period. Something women regularly and involuntarily go through that is often mocked. So, sorry if women get a little mad when it's something that's natural to them and something they have no control over becomes a laughing matter.
Personally, I find your painting of Trump tragic. Not even close to humour in my eyes. Just because you find something offensive, or just because you find something funny, doesn't mean that gives you the right to be a dick.
Yeah. I don't have a legitimate and reasonable argument, so I'll just call them a dick. In this case, it's irony. First of all, let's bring up the fact that feminists making art with their period blood, kinda dates back to the beginning of the third wave feminism, in the early 90s, so yeah, but you wouldn't have any idea about that because actually getting educated on something you're criticizing, way above your fucking level. Let me get a little bit personal with Chubbs. Remember when that kind of big video dropped on Chubbs? I remember that when I found out I was shocked because I thought it was objective. That Chubbs' videos are shit merit-wise and that he only gets traction because of his snappy and edgy quips. I didn't think anybody out there took his videos seriously. Back to the topic, here is the very simplified logic of the Trump painting. You have somebody making fun of a thing. You use the thing to make art, which, itself is a way of owning that thing. But in addition, you use the thing to make art of the person. It makes for perfect fucking irony. Obviously, it's both art and humor, so it's subjective, but irony tends to be widely appreciated.
Donald Trump jokingly insults one singular person. A joke at the expense of a news reporter takes offense to a joke.
Jokingly insults. Yeah, no. You can jokingly insult, people close to you, like siblings, friends, people like that. The people who will get the joke, have a laugh at it. You cannot be a candidate for a president, then jokingly insult a reporter who clearly didn't take it as a joke, then not only refuse to apologize for it, but also demand apology from the reporter. The situation would be comparable to if I called you a dumb fuck right now. It would be a straight up insult, so don't try to manipulate the situation.
Donald Trump jokingly insults one singular person. Sarah then assumed that all men are disgusted by periods and that all men find rape less disgusting than.
True, not all men are afraid of periods. I had guys help me get painkillers when I felt like I was about to faint from the pain during a period. But I also had conversations with guys who complained about how their girlfriends are bitchy on their periods because they don't want to go out with them because they just want to stay home in bed because they're in pain, Fucking cunts. And those weren't dumb teenagers. Those were men in their early 20s.
Close your eyes for a second and imagine a world in which men are as disgusted by rape as they are now by periods.
And yet, Chubbs, you made a video somewhat mocking periods, calling period blood
minge blood, blob glob, cunt blood, clunge mud.
Which of course is supposed to make your audience giggle. But again, making periods a laughing matter. I mean, earlier in the video you mocked women for not wanting to have sex whenever the guy wants to, but still wanting to be treated like a human being who's bleeding out of their vagina. Might come as a surprise to you, but being horny, painfully bleeding, not the same thing. I know, I was shocked too.
In order to paint with our period blood, I have to collect my period blood, which means that I have to use a menstrual cup for the first time.
How? What, you walk around looking like your minge is asking for table service?
There was one time I shocked myself. I went to sleep with my menstrual cup and I woke up and it was full. It sounds like a fairy tale, but it's true.
When it comes to classic fairy tales, you think Goldilocks and the Three Bears, Cinderella, and Little Red Diva Cup. Oh, what big flaps you have! You can't be my pussy!
Wow, hilarious. Let's make fun of something I don't understand, can't relate to, but is important to other people. Don't try to cover up for yourself saying not all men are afraid of periods while making fun of dealing with them in this manner. I know this is supposed to be funny, but it's just shit. And I should clarify that I'm not the person who wants comedy to be PC. I don't care. I don't grit my teeth at night thinking about all the jokes people make about feminists. I don't really care, but at least have the jokes be funny. Because the only way this video could become funny would be if you sprinkled in some more misinformation and labeled it as a commentary channel parody. But no, instead it's just a guy taking a snippet of a video, trying to make it look as dumb as possible, and not actually treating the video as a whole. That's why he contradicts himself.
You know, after all this excitement of collecting their own blood, they decide to let us know the appearance and the structure of it.
The clot and like take it in my palm and kind of just see what it's made of.
Blood clots together when it's outside of the body? I've never had a scab before. You took Key Stage 2 bite size on the BBC website too, did ya?
Guys, I don't know. I don't have the energy. So period blood isn't just blood. Period blood is actually blood and the tissue that lines the uterus. So it's not clots from being outside of the body. You were watching a video about feminists painting with their own blood. What were you expecting? You know, with that period blood aren't born children talk, you have me believing you didn't make much use of that science stuff either. Whether painting with blood is cool or weird is your subjective opinion, so the rest of the video isn't that relevant to me. But if I were to summarize the rest of the video, it would be period blood smells and the art is silly. In conclusion, I love how Chubbs is trying to play both sides, you know, trying to seem like a sensible man, saying he doesn't mind a little blood in the toilet and that not all men are afraid of periods, but still making fun of periods and period-related things and making ad persona arguments. Nothing like talking shit and disguising it as comedy. Leafy 2.0 is in fact here.
Pathetic form of showing achievement. Rather teach some girls how to paint with my blob glob.
First,
Blob glob. Clunge mud. Cunt blood. Binge blood. Blob glob 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 glob. Blob glob. Glob 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 glob. Clunge mud. Clunge mud. Glob glob. Clunge mud. Clunge. Clog it up. Clunge mud. Clunge mud. Glob glob. Clunge mud. Clunge. Clog it up. Binge blood. Binge blood. Binge blood. Binge blood. Binge blood. Binge blood. Cunt blood. Cunt blood. Binge blood. Cunt blood. Cunt blood. Binge 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 blood. Clunge mud. Cunt blood. Binge blood. Clunge mud. Cunt blood. Binge blood. Clunge mud. Cunt blood. Binge blood. I'm a dickhead.